going on, everybody? I'm TevOllie.
And I'm Ollie.
This is
TevOllie Talk. Today we're going to talk about our spirituality and crystals and singing bowls and all types of stuff that involve our spirituality on a daily basis with us. I'm going to start with how I ended up getting interested in crystals. That's the first part of this, and it started with an article that I was reading about Erykah Badu. And I am an Erykah Badu fan. I love Erykah Badu, and I saw this article from Vogue, and the reporter talked about his or her experience as soon as they walked up to her house. And that reporter said, or that journalist said, that they were immediately met by a rose quartz. And I was like, what the heck is a rose quartz? So that propelled me to kind of research exactly what those things are and what they do, what they mean. And that's how I ended up getting here. What about you?
Well, I ended up getting here because of Ollie. I've always known about crystals and stones and things of that nature, as far as from a beauty standpoint. But when you see people wearing crystals, you ask them, hey, what's that? They always catch your eye, because they're beautiful pieces of jewelry when they're worn, and they always catch your eye, and you ask people what is that, where did you get that? And they'll tell you what it is and why they wear it, and you're like, okay. So I was always intrigued by it, and I always found myself crossing paths with them. And Ollie one day was like, I want to get crystals and I want to get into that stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm down.
Yes, the first crystals that I got, it was like a package deal that I got off Amazon, and it had rose quartz, amethyst, black obsidian, and then a clear quartz with it. And they're just little small. This is one of them. It was little small ones. And I immediately was very happy about it. And then I figured out that they worked because I laid the amethyst one on Tevrin's chest and he just went to sleep. And we found out that it's one of those stones that aid with sleep, or is like a dream stone. And so we figured oh wow, this is really interesting. It works. And then we ended up finding a place locally here in Memphis, and it's called Ebo Spiritual Shop or Spiritual Store. And I'm sorry I'm butchering the name, but it's spelled EBBO, and they have a Facebook and stuff like that. But we ended up going there and was immediately drawn to the atmosphere. It kind of took over us, and we figured okay, this is our home for for crystals or whatever we need involving spirituality. The establishment is beautiful, and they do things that kind of set the vibe, the ambiance in there. They have different candles that they light and incense and stuff, and it really kind of takes over the mood and the vibe of the customers that come in. When you're trying to find a place to buy crystals, you definitely want to do your research.
Yes.
And we have done quite a bit of research, actually. We know about all the stones that we have here, and this is not everything by any means. But the first piece of literature I ever got was this book here, and it's kind of like a beginner's guide type of book. If you look up crystals or crystal healing, this is one of the main books that pops up, and I got it from Barnes and Noble. It's called Remedies for Mind, Heart, and Soul, Crystals for Healing, the Complete Reference Guide by Karen Fraser. You should definitely, if you're new to it, look this book up. It's very helpful. And of course, there's other books and resources that go way into a lot more detail than this book, but it's definitely good for when you're starting out.
I want to just talk about my first experience in knowing, like, okay, this is something that I should always keep with me. I work in maintenance, and we basically troubleshoot and solve problems all day. We have to interact with people in other departments, people who may not know exactly our job, but we have to be able to communicate effectively to, across the department lines or whatever. And when I first got into crystals, it was like, I started to seek employment opportunities, and I landed at the Nike job, and we started to really get involved in crystals, and I started wearing the jewelry, and it always kept me at a, like, it's very balanced. I was very balanced. I was never too high or too low. I was always just to myself, and I was very careful about what type of energy I let around me, and it was just unconsciously doing it. Like, I wasn't, like, if people had bad intentions around me, I could feel it. I could feel the energy they were bringing around me, and it was just like, I'm gonna just keep a little distance away from this person. And it really helped. It really balanced me out. I had bad nightmares all the time from my deployment, very bad anger issues, and I could always come back to my crystals and my stones or the singing bowl or go meditate, and it would just bring me back to, like, presence. It's like, all right, I'm good. I'm all right. It wasn't really that big of a deal. So since I started experiencing those things, it was just a no-brainer to me to continue to dive into crystals, and we started to just build up our repertoire. We have so many crystals in our home now. We have so many.
And these singing bowls too, they're very easy to use, and they're very helpful with calming you down, calming a room down, children. And you heard it at the beginning of this video, that sound that comes through, a lot of people don't realize that sound is used a lot, especially for, like, sleep aid, like music and sounds that people you can download them on your apps, and you can hear the same type of tone in those types of videos, resources.
It's nothing like the real thing.
Yeah, of course, it's nothing like the real thing. It's actually when we first heard it used in front of us, it was in that shop, and it was something that I had never experienced before. This little bitty bowl, it looks like, a soup bowl or whatever. It made this loud sound that you could hear all over the shop.
And everybody got quiet.
It
was like, and it was woo, and everybody was like,
what is that?
And me and Ollie was like, we're not leaving here without one of those.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, you might be able to find some that are not too expensive. I don't know how much. I can't remember how much these cost. But with buying things like this, especially like the larger crystals and stuff, you're gonna spend some money. And you don't have to start off with huge crystals or anything like that. These little small ones are like $2.99 and $4
or $5.
Yeah. You should, like, if you're thinking about getting into this seriously, go somewhere that, for one, draws you in when you walk in the door, and then go to a stone or a smell or a candle that really draws your eye, and is more than likely calling you. And I know a lot of people are probably like, calling me.
Yeah.
These things have energy. Everything has energy.
And what you need is what you get.
And yes, absolutely. It never fails. What you need in your life will be the thing that draws you in. The rose quartz is my favorite stone because it's what I feel like I need in my life, even without me saying it or realizing it. It just somehow it's my favorite one, and it really puts me at ease with a lot of things because it's filling a void in my life, or it is speaking to me in the language that I speak, inside, internally, and spiritually. So I mean, it gets kind of deep, but
Yes.
it's a real thing. And you know, we really actually practice these things. We're definitely not like gurus or anything like that. And there are times where we have not turned to these things, and it shows. It's definitely something wrong every time we don't resort back to these types of things. We need it in our life. You have to be careful though, because a lot of places, like if you're going somewhere like that's like Hobby Lobby or like Michael's, not saying that they have like fake things that they're selling in there, but when you come across different shops, you have to do your research on it and make sure that these are authentic crystals, because there's a lot of places that will kind of replicate it or impersonate certain crystals, and it'd be just colored glass or whatever. So you definitely have to do some research. Talk to somebody that works there. If they don't know nothing, I wouldn't trust it. They don't know where this came from. They don't know if it's real or not. Go somewhere else. Or you can order it online. The crystals that I got, it came with a note of authenticity as well as a thank you letter. Like it was, you could tell that this was really genuine and this was the real thing, and then it actually worked. So all of these have different meanings. If you get yourself a book, different purposes, I would say. If you get yourself a book, or you can Google a lot of these things, you can learn about what each stone does. I want to talk about one in particular though. These right here are dream stones. Like we have some different kinds or different colors,
Different sizes.
sizes.
A darker hue.
Yeah, and essentially, what they're used for is when you have questions or when you think hard about something, you can get answers or response in your dream with these stones. And you just keep them by your bed or under your pillow, something like that, and then it will give you an answer. And I made the mistake of sleeping with it over my head and on top of the bed, like, and never taking it away. So I didn't have any specific question or anything in particular I was looking for with this stone. And I ended up having some crazy dreams. And it was frightening. I wanted to give these stones back. And but I called around and tried to figure out what was going on. And they were just like, you can't sleep with this every night.
Yeah.
I didn't, because what it does is it uses you. Like this is my understanding of it. A lot of times we have questions about life or about things, and we don't understand how powerful we are. They're usually within us, the answers. And so this stone brings it out. And if you have deep down rooted issues or feelings, they'll get brought up in your dreams, and it might be some frightening stuff. So my advice from this individual was to get a couple of things resolved that you saw in order to have peace within yourself, and also stop sleeping with this every day.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was scary, but it worked. And you're also supposed to keep like a dream journal, write down what you saw. If you ever come across a dream stone and want to use it for yourself, that's what was advised to me.
They're expensive.
They are very expensive though.
Like,
yes.
Yeah, this one was like $90-something for just this one alone, and it's not even big stone.
Yeah, it is. It got really. These get really, but they're investments.
Yes. Yes.
And they're powerful things. And if they're used correctly, they can change your life.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I understand it, and I mean, it just is what it is. It's an investment on your life.
I think what's your favorite is the rose quartz.
Yes.
My favorite is any obsidian or darker color stones, and like she was saying, these stones and crystals, they are basically, you're called to who you are, what you need, and I'm more of a protective person. So all of the protection stones typically call me every time I go on Ebos, like, hey, you need more protection stone, because that's just the type of person that I am. I'm very protective of my family. I'm very protective of us. And every time I go into Ebos, it's like, hey, more protection, more protection, more protection. This bracelet that I wear is hematite, is magnetized. And this is actually good with things like blood flow, joint problems. Because it's magnetized, it moves the iron within your body. And it helps blood flow tremendously. We used it when she had her car accident, the car accident video. We put it on her ankle, and
it relieved pain.
Yeah, it really did.
It really did. Mm-hmm. And I ended up having to take it off because of shoes and stuff like that. But if there was a way for me to just have it on all the time, I would, because it actually it miraculously helped a lot.
Yeah, and they have crystals for everything, for focusing, for like calming you down, for people who have anger issues, emotional imbalance, people with pain issues,
blood issues. Yeah, they have crystals for everything, and this is not brand new. This is stuff that has been around for millennia. People have been using this forever. These are stones that come from the earth. They're not some concocted mad scientist plan. They come from the ground, and they have energy properties to them that allow you to utilize. You can utilize those things. Yes.
And they work. Singing bowls, same thing. It's all the science, and we use them for what their intended purposes is for.
Yeah. I mean, and you can get all of that information online or in books.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely have benefited us, and our kids found interest in them.
Yeah.
And they don't know everything about it, but they find things that are actually drawn to them.
Mm-hmm.
Or that they are drawn to. And I mean, it works off of human beings and energy. And so, I mean, it is a thing.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to tell the car story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, before we go. So, when my son came to visit, we took him to Ebos, and, Dez was in school. My son was 4. He wasn't in school yet, and he was on a visit. So we took him with us, because at this point, we would always go. At one point, we were going every single week. Mm-hmm. But so we have pretty much almost all that we really need. We kind of are who we are at this point. But we decided to go up there, and when he was there, he was just mesmerized by all of the stones. When he came to our house at first, they caught his eye. He liked the singing bowl. He liked the crystals. He would say, "Dad, what's that?" And he would just be glued to them. And as you guys can see on the table, they're very beautiful for one. And two, the energy from them, it draws you in. It's almost like The Mask, like Jim Carrey is like. So I told him, but I told him, I said, well, do you want one? He said, yes. And I said, okay, well, you get to pick whichever one you want, and I'll get it for you. You get to keep it. And he said, okay. So he instantly walked to a wall, by the window, and he was like, I want this one. I said, pick it up. Pick which one you want. And he grabbed one, and he said, I want this one. And it was a snowflake obsidian. And I found it weird because there are so many colorful stones there. His favorite color is blue, and he picked a black stone with white dots on it. That's not his favorite color. That's not like design. He don't like. I like polka dots. It was none of that. But that's the stone he wanted. He said, "I want this one." I said, "That's the one you want?" He said, "Yes." I said, "All right, I'm gonna pay for it, and then you can have it, and you keep it with you." And from the time he was here to the time he left, he made sure he had that stone on him. And once we did the research on him, and I told him about it, it was basically a stone that balanced him out. He has, he's kids. He has tantrums and anger issues, and this is an emotional stabilizing stone, and it allows you to use creativity and things like that, which is exactly the type of person he is. And I was like, man, that's incredible that a 4-year-old could walk up in a place like this, and if you give them freedom to say pick what you want, they're going to pick what they need. They don't know that that's what they need, but that's what they're going to go to. And that, I thought that was amazing. I was like a proud father. Mama, like, yeah, that's right. You get that stone, son.
Yeah.
You get that stone and you put it in your pocket after I pay for
it. Right. Of course, there's that.
Don't steal from these places. Like, all right.
Was that was a real story, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't steal from these
places.
I don't want to tell the story.
Right, but you never know. Like, you definitely don't want to go into a place like this with ill intentions.
Oh yeah.
Because they will be exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be hard for it to come into fruition, especially in a place like this, because they have things put in place to protect that stuff. Mm-hmm. It definitely seems. So, I mean, it's a powerful place to be. And you want to find a place that does things like that.
It's like,
there's so many things that are involved with you and your connections with spirituality. Of course, we don't practice everything and we don't do every single thing. But I will say we've had like the candles. There's this one candle we use called Peaceful Home.
Ooh.
And what you would imagine, if you've never used anything like this, what you would imagine is it's just going to bring peace into your home. Nope. It's not that easy. And think about that too. Like, when you want something, you got to work for it. Mm-hmm. And that candle being lit, we got the big large one. It was lit all the time
for days.
Mm-hmm. And stuff started coming up. We started having arguments. Stuff started coming to light that we didn't know that each other was feeling, and all types of stuff like that, because all of that has to be hashed out before you have a peaceful home.
Yes.
And that candle did it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't have any of these issues. We were pretty secure in where we are, what we understood let's about each other, and we were just like, we want to keep the peace.
Yeah. I'm like, no, you want some real peace?
No, we gonna give you some real peace.
That candle's like, hold my drink. We're gonna give you some peace, all right.
And
man, I mean, it stirred the pot, but it brought peace.
Yes.
Like, to the point where we don't let anybody come to our house.
Yeah, it's like unstoppable peace. Like, something really got hashed out. It's just like, well, now.
Yeah, we got all this out the way.
This is really out of the way. Mm-hmm. This is real peace. Like you said, this is not no fake stuff.
Yeah.
And so it really, and it took a few of them. We had to get like a few of them. We ran through them just to make sure.
Mm-hmm. But they have things for business.
Yes.
If you're money. A business owner, we need to get some more. Well, yeah, we had, they have things for success. They have things candles that protect your home from like people who have ill intentions towards you. It basically reverses what their intentions are back onto them. And it's incredible. And that's all I'm gonna go into about that, because I really want you guys to get your own experience from it.
Yes, do some research if you're interested. And one thing I will say, I've gotten like questions and even like kind of like concern about where we are with these things and what we're really doing, because for some reason a lot of people associate this type of activity with like worshiping the devil or something, or like voodoo, or which are, there's actually nothing wrong with voodoo, but I'm not going to talk about like real voodoo. but it's not anything associated with that as far as us.
I mean, it's like anything.
Yeah.
I mean, a preacher can use the Bible for something bad if he wanted to.
Right.
And whatever you use is based on the person's intentions. So if you are looking for peace, and this is the journey that you go down, then you're going to find peace. If you're looking for peace and you decide to go the religious approach, no matter which approach you go, when you are going through a battle of self, your intentions are going to reveal
who you are
in the end. So you can wear a mask all you want, but in the end, your intentions will reveal all.
Yeah, no matter what you practice and which way you follow.
Yes.
But we definitely believe in the positive side of things and are looking for positivity, for clarity, and are spiritual individuals. And we believe in the universe, and we believe in nature and its attributes for us in life and others. And so that's our side of it. Of course, there's so many other sides, and of course, once again, do your research,
please,
and find what's best for you.
Yes.
So, well, if you like this video, like what we're talking about, or have some questions, please don't be afraid to comment. Please like and share with your friends. And check us out. Check this out. This is it's worth it.
This video is very like chill vibes too.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is like, I know y'all used to us being like crazy drinking games and all type of stuff, but like this is when we're around our crystals, it's peace. It's just straight, it's balance, and we are like not too up, not too down. You can't help it.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah. And we love them.
Oh, yes.
This is a part of us. But we may make another video going into more detail about some specific ones. We just wanted to show like a few examples and do a nice little spread for you guys.
Yeah, nice. We even brought some of the big dogs out over there. Some of the big dogs over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to catch you guys later. Holla. Peace. It's TevOllie Talk.